There are a number of versions of Visual Studio available for you to download. An earlier movie in this chapter provides more details about the Visual Studio editions. Regardless of which one you choose, you need to download the installer to your local computer. Here is the link if you haven't downloaded your copy yet. You can get a 30-day trial version of all the pay-for-licenses editions, Professional, Premium, and Ultimate. There is also the free Express editions. This is important. If you use the Express editions while following my examples, the screens on your computer will not match the ones on my copy of Visual Studio. Also, you will not see the same menus or Visual Studio features either. You can have many copies of Visual Studio on your computer. If you already have Visual Studio 2010 or Visual Studio 2008 installed, you don't need to uninstall them first. Visual Studio 2012 happily coexists with them on the same computer. Also, you can have the Express editions installed on the same computer. They will not interfere with the pay-for-license editions. Since it takes up to an hour to install Visual Studio, I won't take the time to do the setup in this video. Instead, let me walk you through some of the screenshots of the installation process. This is the initial setup screen that you will see. It's asking you where to place the files, how much room they'll take on the hard drive, and you need to agree to the licensing terms. Next, you get to choose which optional features to install. This is much more streamlined than earlier versions of Visual Studio. I'm choosing all of the optional features, and then you would click on the Install button. Then you wait and watch the progress bars move slowly across the screen. Then you'll see this screen, and then right after this screen, you'll see the Setup Successful screen. At this point, you can click the Restart Now button. Once you finish the install, you can run Visual Studio. The first time you run, you'll be greeted with the license screen. If you have a paid version, enter your license key here. If you have the trial version, you will be able to skip this screen. The next screen you see in Visual Studio is the default environment settings page. Your decision in this dialog affects some of the layout and keyboard shortcuts used inside the Visual Studio editors. For this course, I am using the general development settings. Don't worry if you have already picked one of the other choices. I'll show you how to change these settings later. After the install is over, you should also check for updates. Microsoft releases an update every 3 to 6 months. To see if there's an update, go to the Visual Studio website. This is a screenshot of the current release, Visual Studio 2012 Update 2. You've got some work ahead of you to get your copy of Visual Studio installed. But once you are over that hurdle, you'll be able to create some remarkable applications. I've already got the tools installed, so let's move on to the next video.